look at these waves. They look so good.
Well, water!
But then they realize, oh, wow, every game on the GameCube has good looking water, so never mind.
The GameCube was packed with incredible titles, any one of which here could have taken home the grand prize of GameCube madness. Today, Austin Hargrave, Jeff Fabre, Jared Knabenbauer, and Shane Gill join me, Forrest Lee, as we talk about the best and the worst matchups from this season, the games that made it, and the ones that didn't. Welcome to the GameCube Madness post-show, where we're going to talk about the honorable mentions that almost made it on, some stuff that really did not almost make it on because they were like 20 people voted for them.
1080 Avalanche.
Chibi Robo, come on!
I think Chibi Robo is a solid... We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. So let's start with...
General thoughts of the show?
Well, can we just-
how the season went?
Can we just start with the most obvious? How did Wind Waker not win? Like, what the heck?
Whoa. Let's start with the most obvious. How did Resident Evil 4 not win?
Either one of them.
I think...
I would still take 4 over Wind Waker.
I think
I guess it would help if I voted for Wind Waker.
Looking at this bracket, the GameCube had some really good games.
That's really what it comes down to.
It's really tough.
I had that problem when I did my own top 10 GameCube list where I'm like, oh, it'll be easy. And I'm like, wait, oh my god, I have no idea how to order this.
I think for me, this was harder than the N64 one.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Definitely. Choosing which one's best. Like, the hardest decision in the N64 one was maybe like...
GoldenEye and Paper Mario.
No, that was an
How
easy
did GoldenEye
choice.
make it that far?
Voting against Mario Party was hard for me.
Yeah, sorry.
I can't remember. Maybe I did vote for it.
Maybe Ocarina vs. Majora's Mask was the hardest one.
That's a hard one.
That was pretty easy for me, but apparently not for everybody else.
I personally thought Resident Evil 4 was going to make it all the way to the end. Because not even just like being an amazing game, like I feel like that game was the one that took the GameCube on a technical level like way beyond it.
We also, just let's be real, have some Resident Evil fans on the panel.
Do all 5 of us really like Resident Evil?
I do. I think it's...
I'm actually not the hugest Resident Evil fan.
I didn't really become a huge fan of it until 4.
Same.
Like,
Same.
I mean,
But
I've
like all of them now.
recently played the 2 remake, and I think that's
good.
awesome.
So
but
good.
Yeah.
Not
Probably one of
like
the best remakes,
if like at any point in time throughout my teenage years, you asked me if I'd played a Resident Evil. It's like, yeah, I've played them, but like they weren't like my favorite games.
Yeah, I just think it's like the most impressive game on the
Yeah,
GameCube.
they were really pushing the tempo of that game. Look at the PS2 version. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty bad.
We talked about that in the actual episodes.
Yeah.
I know everyone likes to make fun of how it's getting like HD ports to every damn thing
There's a reason.
ever, but there's
Yeah.
a reason for it. It's because it was that good.
Yeah.
And, like still holds up that well.
And they took some risks with it too, like not being able to move while you aimed down the sights. I remember a lot of people like, oh, that's gonna suck, but it was great. I liked that, honestly.
It forces you to play in a certain way.
Yeah. It kind of forces you to go slow.
It forces you to like definitely go slower, which makes it scarier.
It does, makes it spookier.
Welcome to this episode of Madness. It's Resident Evil 4 versus every other game.
But like, well, I was gonna say like at the end of the last episode or at the championship battle, basically, like I was at my ending point. I basically said, I'm surprised Smash is here. And that's because I also thought that like Wind Waker or Resident Evil was gonna be there.
yeah.
Versus Thousand Year Door.
Well, yeah, the way we do the brackets, like it's not.
Yeah, like it's not like
true
guaranteed, but like
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, like, but still like just as like in essence, like it
Dude,
just didn't seem like
Like these brackets in general got randomized in such a way where it's
All the-
super.
it was tough.
Some of the best games were all on the right
Painful.
side.
Because I remember you like showed me it, and I was just like, "Shut up!
Yeah.
These are fake."
I swear to God, we randomly generate these.
yeah.
Yeah, because like, what if like Mario Kart went up against like Melee? That didn't happen, right? Like
No.
the multiplayer versus multiplayer
actually
thing
would've
didn't
made
really
sense.
happen as much. And I think in that instance we would have been like Smash probably, but maybe anyway. But I don't know. Like there are some arguments either way, but it would have been easier to argue, I think,
Yeah.
because they're both multiplayer
Yeah,
games.
you could have talked about which game handles multiplayer better.
Yes.
Can't really do that with
And
Paper
someday
Mario.
we can revisit this topic and we should
Maybe,
have it. Yeah, like the reason we randomize these brackets is so in the future we can do it again.
Ooh, infinite content. Nice. Subscribe.
Can I say what a worthless spot Sonic Adventure 2 was?
Oh yeah.
I know.
Come on, throw Chibi Robo. We should've-
I know it's one of the most voted for games, and a lot of people play on the GameCube. I did myself. So I understand why so many people voted for it, but it really should not have been here.
Yeah.
It was a Dreamcast port, but
It was-
they added a bunch of multiplayer stuff. Cool. They did the same for Skies of Arcadia.
Dude, the chows.
But I'm not going to argue Skies of Arcadia should be on here too because they're still
the Chow-
fundamentally GameCube games.
The chows were on.
Okay. One of the things about that game specifically, we mentioned Chow Garden. I don't know if we mentioned this on the episodes or not, but we talked about it outside of the episodes, and we basically came to the conclusion that Chow Garden was basically Monster Rancher.
Yeah.
But like Monster Rancher is like infinitely better
Yeah.
than Chow Garden.
Well, and then Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like as a genre in general. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, that's beside the point. I
I'm
guess.
saying there's so many other games that could have been
Yeah.
there that wasn't.
And it's
Sonic.
Surprise! This is actually
Mario Party
Darkness.
4 could have been on there.
This is a good segue into like what was voted for and what wasn't.
Yeah,
Sonic was
sure.
in the like top 5. I think.
How?
It was
nuts.
way
Like,
up
it-
there.
People just love Sonic.
It sold
yeah.
so much.
some
on Wii.
people just wanted to see us crap on it too, probably.
I don't know about that.
And
some
I don't think so.
people were very
Because like we
20%.
we played Sonic recently, and people are just like, "Wow, I don't want to watch you just like shit on this game the
Well, what
entire
do you
time."
want us to say? This is great. No, I won't lie. I won't.
Yeah, I genuinely had people messaging me, just being like, I unsubscribed because you.
People just love
because
that
you didn't
game.
vote Sonic.
I tried my damnedest to be like as like
You
fair
did.
to
I
that
saw it in your
game
eyes.
as much as I could.
I could see
even
the
though
pain.
I went through a dissertation about how that game isn't that great, but I still wanted to give it like its own fighting chance. So even with that in mind, it shouldn't have been there when there's so many better GameCube games.
There's just so many bad levels in that game.
Yeah, we
Can
don't
we
need
list
to
off,
crap on it again.
Can we just list off like 5 games right now that are better than Sonic Adventure?
I was about to say
F-Zero
what,
GX,
Chibi Robo.
Mario Party 4,
Mario Party 4.
Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness,
Eternal Darkness.
Resident Evil
Eternal
Remake,
Darkness?
Resident Evil Remake.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine.
what are
How was Eternal Darkness?
what are like your 3 games that you think you wish were on this bracket that weren't?
Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles would have been fun.
Yeah.
Just to be able to play it again, so we could talk about it.
I would have loved to see remake on the list.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It was just short of getting on.
I'd probably go Resident Evil Remake, Crystal Chronicles, and toss up, but probably Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah.
A Mario Party.
Or Mario.
Yeah.
Like Mario Party 4.
For me, it'd be Mario Party, and I don't even know. I probably wouldn't do that well against any of the games, but I really like Chibi Robo. I think Chibi Robo would have been cool.
I don't think
And-
it would have done well
I don't
either.
think-
but,
Yeah, I probably wouldn't
It's
even
fun.
voted for it, but
Chibi
it's
Robo's
such a
fun.
cool game.
Chibi Robo is pretty niche, I think.
Yeah, and it's super unique. It's like the kind of game I like.
And
but
I don't think they've
against
really
Wind Waker, I'm gonna vote for
like,
it.
was the GameCube Chibi Robo like better than like because the recent stuff hasn't been too good for Chibi Robo. I don't feel like
the 3DS Chibi Robo. I don't
Yeah.
think was even a real Chibi Robo game. I don't think. Well, real.
A
Chibi
real?
Robo game, but, like, it was nothing like the GameCube version.
I think Eternal Darkness should have.
Eternal Darkness
absolutely
is
been on there,
definitely
too.
Eternal
yeah.
Darkness is one of the most unique games I think Nintendo's ever made.
I mean, Nintendo themselves didn't make it.
It doesn't
like,
hold up
for-
as well.
Silicon
But it
Knights
is really
of
cool.
2 Human fame.
Silicon Knights of X-Men Destiny fame.
never mind. I take it back. I like Sonic.
No, but Eternal Darkness is like one of the most unique, enjoyable GameCube games on there. And man, I guess maybe not as many people play as I thought, but that
That game
one
was
that's
super.
I think
should've
everyone
been one
here
that
has
voted
played
on
it
there.
at some point,
Yeah,
though.
like
yeah.
I think the 5 of us are like we're nerds for our jobs, so like
if you haven't
don't,
played it, you've probably seen a playthrough.
I feel like if we asked like generic Randy gamer at like PAX or whatever, have you ever played or seen or heard of Eternal Darkness? We're gonna
Probably
get way
not.
more no's.
Yeah,
Probably
it's
not,
fair.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to.
I didn't even expect it to make.
I want to say that game only sold maybe a few 100,000 in
That sounds
total,
about right.
which
I mean, I only rented it, so
which sounds like a lot to some people, but like in context of everything, is very very little compared to anything else.
Even back then, I only knew
So-
about it because of XPlay.
It didn't sell Resident Evil numbers.
Right.
No, yeah.
Or Sonic numbers.
It's kind of weird when you play it back now, though, and
Yeah.
it's kind of weird when you play Eternal Darkness back now, though, and it turns the volume down. It's like this isn't a CRT. It's kind of you're kind of come on, game. Like,
They were doing the best with what they had.
yeah, the green volume bar going down. Like,
I'm sad
What
that
year is it?
we didn't get a chance to, in the bracket, talk about the 4th best Zelda game on this list, Star Fox Adventures.
oh,
I was honestly not sure where you were going with that.
Oh, what would you rather see on this list? Sonic Adventure 2 or Star Fox
Star
Adventure?
Fox.
Okay.
Star Fox. Absolutely.
What about like the multiplayer?
Sonic
Zelda
probably.
game?
Yeah, I've never even played that. Star Fox
What is the Zelda game where you had to have all the
Four
game?
Swords?
Yeah, Four Swords.
Four Swords is fun.
Versus.
I wouldn't vote for it. But
Yeah.
it's too simple.
Would
It's a cool
anyone
game.
go like Star Fox Assault over Star Fox Adventures?
As a better game?
Wait,
I
that's
would
on the
say
game
so.
For like on the
Yeah.
GameCube.
I almost forgot
Just
about
on the
that game.
bracket.
Yeah,
It's better.
It's the better game.
Assault is better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Less
it's more.
memorable, but better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of what people want from Star Fox, as opposed to a dinosaur game
I
that
think
Miyamoto decided to put a Fox
Star Fox
into.
Assault is the closest I think that franchise has come to
Like
recapturing
Star
64.
Fox? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well, what about
that's
the
the thing is
3DS
I just
remake of
I don't know what
N64?
they're gonna do with Star Fox
That was
ever.
pretty good.
Because
I-
like they're
I-
trying to do all this new stuff with Star Fox. I'm just like
get
I don't
why
like
they
any of this.
I don't get why they don't just make another Star Fox.
They could
game.
make such a cool. Anyway, we could go on a big
Yeah,
tangent
yeah,
about that.
Let's let's pull up.
But what did we vote for
Yeah,
again?
more other things that were like in the top that we
So
just
yeah,
didn't
we're
get
going
to.
to talk about the top games.
That way we can tell people if they're
So-
wrong or not.
Okay.
Dang.
I think
Just
a
kidding.
little bit unsurprisingly, the top two games
Yeah.
were
Wind
Super
Waker.
Smash Bros. Melee and
Yep.
Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's I assumed that.
This survey got over 13,000 votes. Thank you.
Dang.
Wow.
And
Follow
I
us on
thought-
Twitter. NormalBoots.
At NormalBoots.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I'm looking at these numbers right now. At least for the longest time, those games were within 40 votes of each other.
Yeah, they were neck and neck.
Dang.
And right now it's
That's close.
about 500, but like that
Yeah.
out of 13,000.
What were some other like up there games? that would've
The
been
top 5 were those two: Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, and
Yeah,
Paper
yeah.
Mario.
What was the lowest? Let's all guess.
What's like
1080 Avalanche.
10 through
Yeah,
20?
yeah.
Some kind of like the middling games.
Yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
What's some of that just missed it?
I feel like a lot of GameCube games that are just
Just missed
incredibly
it?
good,
Yeah.
but people didn't
were
play.
like
What are like the
Mario
next,
Party?
Like, 5 to
okay,
10?
so the way we handle these brackets, just in case you don't know, is we take the top 16 from the survey and choose 12 of them. So the other games that were in the top 16 were both Pokemon games, SoulCalibur 2 and Pikmin 1.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about SoulCalibur.
SoulCalibur 2 is really tight.
We didn't like, for example, Pikmin 1. We just chose Pikmin 2.
Yeah,
so
out of those, we were like, they're so similar that we decided.
Right.
Oh, and just while I'm thinking about it, we did not include Twilight Princess on this because we figured...
we're doing Wii.
Most
That's
people
Wii, that's a Wii
experienced
game.
that game on the Wii.
It's a Wii game.
And it came out when the Wii was out.
Yeah.
So it's a Wii game.
It's a literal Wii launch title.
I'm actually surprised by how many people were like commenting about that.
So-
I mean,
After we do Wii Madness, which will be a thing at some point, we will do an exhibition match of Wind Waker versus Twilight Princess. 'Cause
Can we do
I
it-
think there's a lot for us to dig into.
can we do an exhibition match of Twilight Princess GameCube versus Twilight Princess Wii?
No.
That'd be
They flipped it!
2 minutes. Like we could have a 2-minute episode. It'd be quick. We could get a video out real fast. I like doing this. Okay.
But yeah, some of the other ones that almost made it, there's some good ones. Super Mario Strikers,
Oh, Strikers are so good.
Metroid
love
Prime
Strikers.
2 Echoes, F-Zero, Mario Party 4,
Play Strikers.
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem.
Fire
That-
Emblem's really
I think
good.
Like Radiance?
Yeah.
Path
Yeah,
Radiance.
Path Radiance.
I
Yeah.
never played the GameCube.
It was
It was
real
good.
good, man.
I don't know why I didn't
was
play
real
it.
good.
I was still playing the Game Boy one.
It's a pretty rare game too. Like it's a pretty expensive game.
That's a
Sonic,
right.
Sonic Adventure DS.
I don't.
Yeah, there's some classics here that are just like in the middle of the list. Super Monkey Ball,
Ah,
Beautiful
yeah. Great
Joe.
game. Beautiful Joe. Yeah, that was
Well,
really
that was pretty unique for its time.
that was really highly rated game back when
Harvest
it first came out.
Moon, A Wonderful Life.
I like it, but it's not good enough.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the weaker Harvest Moons, honestly.
I could go on about that. They matched the Harvest Moon.
Isn't that the point of this
I
episode?
mean, I guess we're talking about GameCube. Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. I want to have a Harvest Moon game on at some point. They matched that like atmosphere of Harvest Moon really well. The characters suck. There's not very.
There's
good.
yeah,
Oh,
it,
I was
just, it
kinda
doesn't
ruined it.
hold your attention well enough.
I was
yeah.
wrong. The
That-
lowest voted game was Wave Race.
Wave Race
Wave
Blue
Race.
Storm, which got 300 votes.
I thought that people liked that game.
I like the
I mean-
64 one better.
Maybe it's Waverace 64 then.
It sounds weird, but
Can you really have that many jetpack or jet ski games like in like?
I've named a jet ski game since then.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember when
Like I was
Wave
like,
Race-
it's like that's a novel concept for like that time.
Yeah.
I remember when Wave Race for the GameCube came out, people were like, "Look at these waves! They look so good."
Whoa, water!
But then they realized, oh wow, every game on the GameCube has good looking water,
What
so
if-
never mind.
What about like SSX Tricky or NBA
Dude,
Street
Tricky?
Volume 3?
Dude,
Or
I love
all those
NBA
other,
Street.
like,
I actually-
EA Sports
I feel
games
like-
and
I don't
Mario
think
Kart.
we
I think
included those.
in like
the-
general sports games rank lower.
Yeah.
Just in general.
A lot of people play them and no one really remembers specific ones.
That's because there's a new one every year.
07 was the best.
So it's just like it's hard to like it's hard for them to stand out. Even though I played the crap out of NBA Street when it came out, Like there's some sports games I put a lot of time into. NFL Blitz on like N64,
Blitz,
just
yeah.
like they don't stand out as much as like the real like I guess like first party Nintendo games.
What's interesting is Resident Evil Remake and Eternal Darkness got about the same amount of votes.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. There's a lot of games on there that I'm like, oh yeah, these are good games, but I don't think I would qualify them just because of that Dreamcast thing.
Would we even really have
Skies of Arcadia, Fantasy Star Online
these are the games they
episode
just
1 and
ported
2.
over.
The longest, most unpronounceable name on the entire bracket.
Baten Kaitos, Eternal
Bacon
Rings of the
Kaitos.
Lost Dream.
I do hear people
queso.
talking about
Bacon queso.
Baten Kaitos, also a really solid RPG for the GameCube. It's not as card-based as people think.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was card
I guess also like slightly less honorable mention to Lost Kingdoms.
Was that
Well,
on the
if we're talking about like RPGs and stuff like that, I was gonna say Tales of Symphonia. Like I'm surprised that didn't make it
Yeah,
either.
that was pretty close, I think.
Yeah, like,
yeah, let me-
I
it was
firmly
up
believe that the Tales of Symphonia series became successful in the West at all. It was because of Symphonia.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
GameCube one
in
was, like,
within
the-
5 of getting into
yeah.
the top 16.
That was like the one everyone I
Yeah.
feel like played.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know there weren't a whole lot of RPGs on the GameCube, and Paper Mario
rough.
is the best one of
Yeah.
them all, but
Tales of Symphonia was cool because you could play it multiplayer.
yeah,
Me and my brother beat the game together when we were growing up.
4-player.
Oh, I forgot you could. I thought it was just 2. Well, we didn't have
Pretty,
friends, so-
actually, pretty novel thing. There's only like a couple other games I can think of before that lets you play RPGs with more characters or with more players.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And the
just,
combat system was fun. That's part of what I liked about it. It's just like, it's like it wasn't really like it was still an RPG combat, but you could like move around and like jump, slice.
I guess it just
whatever.
kinda goes to show like how many really good games are on the
It's
GameCube.
amazing that I'm looking at the bottom percentile of these things, and it's like, oh, that's a good game. That's a good game.
How
that's a
did the
good
GameCube
game.
not sell more? It was such a good console.
Terrible branding.
Yeah.
It has a hand.
Yeah, I know the handle. You
Because
can carry it anywhere.
When that came out, it was right around the time where all the kids were like, that's a kiddie system. I like
Yeah,
cool,
that was. You're right.
Also,
that was what it was.
serious, realistic stuff.
Xbox,
Yeah.
Halo.
There was definitely a huge marketing push of just like hardcore like
Yeah.
graphics are better on these systems,
all the
dude.
cool
Even though when you look
kids
back at it
Xbox.
now, you're just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like this looks so bad.
All the cool kids, aka the casuals, they wanted Xbox so they could play Halo. I mean,
Also,
Pretty
the
much.
PlayStation did so well because it came out when DVDs started
Yeah,
being a
the
thing.
DVD
And
player.
it was,
DVDs?
funnily enough, DVDs.
Oh, DVDs.
I know it's an ancient technology,
Dance Dance Revolutions.
but
Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix
yo,
terrible.
was not good.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
but I feel like that's had a big
Well,
contributing factor.
for the longest time, the PS2 had GTA as well.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
huge
again,
selling.
but that realistic like kind of games. People were like
Yeah.
shooters, sports, Grand Theft Auto.
Like, I think the best-selling PS2 game was San Andreas.
Yeah, it was San
I wanna
Andreas
say- I
by
wanna say
far,
so.
I think.
I literally did not know anyone who did not have that game.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't. I wasn't
I had all
allowed.
of them.
Wow.
I had all.
I was too busy playing my kiddie system
Yeah.
for my weeb.
How dare you? Is there any other big games on the GameCube we just like completely missed out on?
I mean, we went through like the list.
Yeah.
I think the biggest tragedy that's not on this bracket was Fire Emblem. Just cause like I love that game.
Okay.
It's a fucking good game.
It wasn't that popular back then. Like
No.
it got more popular on the 3DS.
I think like tactics
ones.
games are a hard sell for a lot of people.
I love tactics games.
I don't know if I would say it's the biggest tragedy, but it's certainly up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still think
What would
Eternal
you say
Darkness
is the biggest?
realistically.
I guess I think Eternal Darkness was the biggest
Yeah.
exclusion.
Okay.
Just
Eternal
because-
Darkness could have beaten some games.
It's
on
pretty
this.
mainstay like horror genre type of game. Like it really innovated on like the genre.
They literally invented a mechanic for that game.
Yeah, they copyrighted
the
it.
the
Yeah.
thir- like
Yeah.
or, well just
Insanity.
like insanity basically just messing with people like with realistic situations that like I'm like a meta mess with you.
It doesn't really translate that well anymore. So it's hard. It's hard to go back.
in the time though.
It was super creepy at the time.
Yeah.
Like my
But-
TV turned off.
Were there any like results in the bracket that you guys were particularly upset about?
I'm confused as to why Austin voted for Resident Evil over Wind Waker.
Because Resident Evil 4 is just a
It's-
much more impressive game.
People were talking about the low points of Wind Waker and like the parts that kind of drug out a little bit versus sell out. Where's my check if I'm selling out? Where it's like Resident Evil 4 is just like cool moment after cool moment after cool moment, and you just like move through all these cool areas, and none of the air. I don't know. I mean, if we were doing it today, but for Wind Waker. But that's part of part of what's fun about Madness is like you just get in that moment, you're really caffeinated or whatever, and you're just like, you know what?
Yeah. Well, it's
Resident Evil 4.
It's the context of the conversation.
Yeah.
Like it relates to
Like,
what we've all said.
I always I vote based on the arguments, but I think pretty much all of us, unless we really have a horse in the race, vote based on the arguments.
I think a more accurate way of describing it versus based on the arguments is based on the heat of the moment. It's like it's like we film for like 20 minutes or so. Everybody's like throwing arguments this way and that way, and then you're like,
someone's gonna have like some heated moment over some game. Like it's like no, I don't accept this.
no, Pikmin 2.
Speaking of which, I think the only game that I really liked that kind of got on was Pikmin 2.
Dude, I defended Pikmin 2.
I know you did.
I didn't.
I know, you and the vein on your face.
Jeff had flashbacks to our like playthrough where we were like,
I just don't think it holds up with the rest of the games.
Yeah, again, like,
I do like Pikmin 1 better. I honestly felt like I would have had easier time.
Like I don't hate. That's the thing is I don't hate Pikmin. Everyone in the comments is like, you hate Pikmin. I can't believe Jeff hates Pikmin. I don't hate Pikmin. I liked the first one more than the second one.
I did too. I like it.
Kind of sounded like you hate Pikmin.
I think the thing that upset me the most was Metroid Prime, because I don't think
that was tough.
I get that.
I'll put a lot of the blame on myself. I don't think I defended it as well as I could have.
Or we just had some really good arguments.
Yeah, our friend Todd has like talked to me afterwards and been like, "Why didn't you talk about exploration and discovery like at all?"
Yeah,
because there is none.
That's objectively false.
No. Yeah,
dude, you can't even shoot your gun in that game. That's what I hear.
That was one of those videos where, because we try to keep these pretty concise, but for this season in particular, every video's gone really, really long because they are
so much to say.
Lee's like, all right, we gotta wrap it up. Okay, like
we want to talk about like each game for like at least like 5 minutes or so, and then it's like especially hard to compare them at the same time too.
And that was hard at the time because there's so much to say about Resident Evil 4 because it was such an incredible, influential game.
Yeah.
And due to time constraints, we didn't get to Metroid Prime as much because again, it was more or less like a certain shooter game versus an exploration game, that kind of like different comparison between them. Yeah, I do wish we had more time to speak about Metroid Prime.
To dig into that excellent 5-star game.
And give it the credit it deserves. Yeah. I still think I would have voted Resident Evil 4 over it, but I wish I gave more time to Metroid.
I have to go.
Yeah. Austin, no!
Yeah. This is a hard season.
This was a hard season. Austin's gone and dead forever.
Yeah. He left his book.
My God.
Thank you for joining us for this season. Please join us next time where we talk about some matchups that we didn't get a chance to talk about, games that weren't on the bracket, exhibition matches. We have about 3 or 4 of them planned for that. It'll be fun. And then after that, Pokemon.
Bye, bitch.
What are your thoughts? Who should have made it in, and what matchups do you think were the hardest? If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and tune in next time as we pit some GameCube games that we didn't get a chance to talk about against one another.